It was rebuilt after the Great Fire of London and survived being bombed during the Blitz, but now a slow-moving disaster threatens St Paul's, the pandemic. The landmark relies almost entirely on tourist income, and that has dropped 90%. Jonathan Brown reports.
It may have stood proudly over central London for more than 300 years, but behind closed doors, the cracks are beginning to show at St Paul's Cathedral. Covid cost-cutting led to the cancellation of multi-million-pound renovations and roof repairs, and now church leaders say they're still struggling to plug the holes in its finances.
I think it's probably the deepest financial crisis the cathedral has faced since it was built.
Closing to tourists for much of the last year has led to a 90% drop in its income. And despite being awarded £3.3 million in government support and cutting a quarter of its staff, the future here is far from certain.
St Paul's is here to welcome people in, and we want to be able to continue doing that. And we're working as hard as we possibly can to raise the money and make that happen. The worst thing to happen would be if our doors were to close, and we have no plans to close. We're not intending to do that. But that's where we need help to be able to keep the cathedral open.
Designed by world-renowned architect Sir Christopher Wren after the cathedral was destroyed in the Great Fire of London, this is the fourth to stand on this site in 1400 years. It survived bombings during the Second World War and 20 years later hosted the funeral of the man credited with helping win it, Sir Winston Churchill. It was also the scene of perhaps the most celebrated royal wedding in modern history in 1981. And has been a comfort to communities like those who lost loved ones to the Grenfell Tower fire of 2017. But now bosses say it is in need of support.
St Paul's has been here as a building, or several buildings, for at least 1,000 years or more, and we want it to be here for another 1,000. But there's a long-term funding problem which all heritage buildings have got, not just cathedrals and churches.
The sounds of visitors will join the chorus at St Paul's once more when restrictions ease on Monday. A moment people here say they hope will be the start of a new chapter in this cathedral's history. Jonathan Brown, ITV News.